You're welcome to the TGIF edition of the headlines on Petals 102.3 FM Ibadan, your radio station. My name is Tony Adeoye. A quick reminder on how to be a part of our platforms. On Telegram, it's official Maestro Petals. If you do not have Telegram app, just search for Telegram on your Play Store. Or when you download, search for official Maestro Petals and click to join. And on WhatsApp, the number to add is 070-555-66624. To listen in from anywhere around the world, you can go through the website www.petals1023.com, where you download the Petals FM app from your Play Store. And to watch our videos, previous live broadcast, you can find it on Facebook, Official Maestro Petals. On TikTok also, we have some videos for you, Official Maestro Petals. And I'm not here alone. I'll be doing this with Adebisi Ogunjimi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining me on the show.
Pleasure.
All right. We don't exactly have comments on the platform, so we'll just go straight to the stories we have. And we'll be starting with the suspended um, we'll be starting with DSP Abakiari, who got his bail yesterday, and he got bail on for 50 million naira, and he's to provide two shorties before he's to go home, and he'll be answering his case from home. Now, did you see him getting bail this soon? I know it was last year, but I thought he had gotten a sentence and he was going to be in jail for a period of time. So did you see him getting bail?
Honestly, you know how these things operate. It has to be within the jurisdiction of the law. You understand? So it's not much about us seeing him getting bail this soon. It has to be with what the law says. You understand? If the law is of the opinion that he should get bail and is able to meet the bail conditions, if the offense is bailable, you know there are bailable offenses and there are offenses that are not bailable. So if it's bailable, I think it will now behoove on the judge to decide when to actually grant the bail. You understand? So it's not much about us saying. I honestly, I've not really been following the case, so I don't. I won't even say I expect that he would get his bail any sooner or any later. You understand? But now that he's got the bail, he can actually answer his case from home. You know, this is what we do to ourselves. It's when we have cases like this to answer, high-profile cases. That's when you start hearing a lot of medical cases that you've not heard before. You understand? And you will have to be making it compulsory on the judge to grant you access to go on medical leave, medical travels. You understand? So now that he has it, I don't know on what ground really, but he's been granted the bill. He would continue to answer his case from home.
Um, Although the court okayed DCP Kyari's release on bail, however, it held that his freedom from Kuje prison, where he is currently kept, will be dependent on developments in the drug trafficking case that is pending against him before a sister court presided over by trial Justice Emeka Enwete. So apparently, he's still going to be in Kuje prison.
So what's the bill about?
I think it's on asset declaration.
Okay. Yes. Well, I'm sure he will be seeking bail for that also. So the cases are being handled one after the other. So he's been granted bail. Remember the case of Mazi Nnamdi too. The court ruled that he was discharged. Then AGF Malami came to tell us that he wasn't acquitted. So that was, you know, in Nigeria.
So the court had said
discharged. Yeah, so he said he wasn't acquitted, so that's why he's still being kept in prison till now. So if Abba Kyari had been granted bail on one offense, then the lawyer would have to continue defending the other offenses so that he can actually get bailed on all the offenses. I think that is when he can get home. But this is more of legal discussion, and we are not lawyers, so we have limited understanding of.
Justice Omotosho said he would only sign a release warrant in favor of DCP Kyari upon the conclusion of the drug-related charges, and then the matter was adjourned till October 18th for trial. So it's just like you explained, it's just bail on the asset declaration stuff, and it's still going to be there until maybe the cases will be dropped. But I don't think it's going to be dropped because
the case is in court, only, so we have limited discussion on it. So let's just leave it.
All right. The Super Falcons. I need to be sure that I am saying the right team. The female Nigerian players are planning a protest. I think their fees, yes, I've gotten the story. Falcons plan a protest. The Super Falcons are planning to stage a strike and boycott the opening game of the 2023 Women's World Cup after the General Secretary of the Nigerian Football Federation, Dr. Mohamed Sanusi, told them their match bonuses for the competition had been cancelled by the federation. We have cases where they would say their fees were not paid. I know that the coach of the Super Eagles, that's Oseposero, he was owed for a long time. I don't know if he has been paid whatever it is they are owing him. But like these people who work, yeah, maybe they are not going to work every day to create budgets or to move Nigeria forward physically, but they are bringing glory to Nigeria with whatever they are doing. And the fact that they get owed whatever it is they are supposed to get, it's alarming. Do you think they should go on strike?
Yes, I'm always see. I always say something. You can only gauge your action. You are not given any right to gauge my reaction. You have decided what you want to do. You have done it. So you do not reserve the right to begin to gauge what my reaction will be. For how long I'm going to have to react to whatever it is you have done to me. The federal government has decided to hold on to, for whatever reason, the federation had decided to not just hold on to it, to cancel it. Cancel their payment for March. What was the reason given? I don't think any reason was given. And it's not like these people have not been representing us. It's common for the federation, honestly, to this maltreatment of our footballers, of our athletes have been. It's not just happening. It's not something we are just recording now. It's been on. We've had cases where they will promise legends, where they will promise them houses, they will promise them cash gifts, and years down the line you will realize that they have not been given these promises. These promises have not been redeemed by the federal government. Then it will take administration upon administration to now begin to decide to do them that favor of redeeming that pledge or that promise. You understand? And they would have to wait. Some of them would have been sick. Some of them will become bedridden. Some of them will become poor. And they have to be begging for money before an administration can remember them and give them one miserable bungalow somewhere. You understand? So this is what happens. This is what happens. And I think they have to begin to fight it. If they begin to fight it by going on this strike action, if their services are no longer needed, they should be told. These people have clubs they are playing for. And now we wonder why they go all out to play for their clubs, why they go all out to defend their clubs, to represent their clubs very well, more than I've often raised that question, that it looks like these people are more committed to their clubs than they are committed to their nations. And do you blame them? Do you blame them? You know how much they are paid in these clubs? I'm not familiar with, I'm not a football person, I always say, but you know how much they are paid. You know the allowances they get. You know the dollars of pounds that they are paid weekly. But what do we do for them? When they represent us, when they wear that color, that green and white color, what do we do for them? How do we treat them? After every we are so quick to congratulate them, we are so quick to send messages, we are so quick to host them when they finish. But how quick are we to pay them what is due them? How quick are we to treat them well? How quick are we to give them allowances? How quick? Because they are not politicians. They are not National Assembly members. They are not entitled to all these good lives that our politicians are entitled to. But they go out there. They represent us. They make us proud. We are quick to congratulate them when they come out with the trophy. We are quick to identify with them when they come back with this trophy. You understand, Tony? We are quick to claim them, to tell them they are Nigerians. We are proud of you. That was why I said on the days you read about one Nigerian student that did well in China, and you said she has not made us proud. She has made herself proud. She has made our family proud, because Nigeria did not send her there. Nigeria did not send her to that school. Yes, she's a Nigerian, but did she school here? No, this familiarization, I really don't like it. They call it farm saying. I don't like it. I really do not support it. It's when they are doing well that I want to identify with them. Now they have done so well. You have cancelled their match allowance for whatever reason. Let them go on strike, please. They should go on strike.
While
and
you
stay on strike.
stay.
Yes, they should go on and stay on strike on this is solved for them.
Well, in 2004, they refused to travel back home after winning the 2004 WAFCON in South Africa, insisting they were paid their bonuses first. In 2016, after returning from Cameroon with an 8th WAFCON trophy, they also staged a sitting protest at their Abuja hotel to press on their claims for each player to be paid after their triumph. And so on, 2018, 2019, and all of that. And I was reminded just now of the Olympian Okorodudu who died last week in a hospital, and he was sick for a while, and the hospital said they were not going to release his body to his family because they were owing 600,000 naira. And it's so sad. I remembered the the person who designed the Nigerian flag, Mr. Taiwo Akinkumi, if I'm sure, the national flag. Yes,
Yes,
I saw him for the first time on a show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I was like, oh, this is him. I was thinking he was going to have a national honor. He wasn't going to be looking so impoverished and all of that. And it brings me back to the question, why? People who are doing stuff, who are putting our name on the international scene, in the history book, how come they are not being given what they are supposed to get?
That's that much I alluded to in my submission. They are, because who is responsible for giving them what is due them? Who is responsible? We have a lot of, you will have to go through agencies, you go through parastatals or probably commissions, and who are those that are there heading these parastatals, heading these agencies, heading these ministries? Who are those? They are not, these people are not as important as the politicians. I have said it. So they do not treat them. There's no matter of urgency, there's no matter of importance. They are just like they are. See, look at Okorodudu that died. You would not expect that someone who has at one point in his life flown that flag, worn that green and white color to represent our country, will die like that, will end like that. We've had cases where we have to be begging them, where a journalist will just happen on one of these people in a very despicable state, in a very, very bad state. And mostly is their health. When a journalist just happens on them and locks smiles on them, the journalist just does a story on them, and the story goes viral, then they now start calling them. They start asking state governors to start asking, commissioners to start calling them, and most times they even use them to just to gain traction. They do mostly nothing for these people. They do mostly nothing for these people. When they now die, I think I still read about Okwaraji's mother. The woman still cried out that she is still as poor. Should she be? Should a woman like Okwaraji's mother should have been honored a long time ago by Nigeria's government. A woman whose son died on the pitch representing Nigeria. Samuel Okwaraji. He died. The guy was a lawyer, but he decided to play. He was a footballer, so he represented Nigeria, and he died on the pitch. He was carried off the pitch. And up till today, you cannot really point at something. Yes, I think some things have been done over the years. Every year when you do a remembrance of his death, that's when the mother comes to limelight. That's when the family comes to limelight again. After that, they are into oblivion. They have gone. We are not hearing about them again. And all the promises will be, heaven and earth will be promised them on the occasion of the commemoration. But just go back and check. Go back and check with this family. How many of those promises have been redeemed? That's how we treat our own. That's how we treat our own legends, our own stars. That's how we treat them.
I was taken back just now to the question I asked during the first leg in relation to the student loan. Now that we're having student loan and the reps are warning that institutions do not increase tuition fees, ASU strike is my biggest problem about public universities in Nigeria. We are going to be taking loans to go to school. Are we also going to be going through ASU strike 3 months, 6 months, sitting at home? Do you see a possibility of the government just giving ASU what they want and eradicating ASU strike altogether?
Well, we might not be able to eradicate the strike because they make different requests per time. You understand? So if we are asking for a better welfare package this time, maybe next time we are going to be asking for better working conditions, and next time we are going to be asking to be not to be or to be part of IPPIS. I can't even remember what the argument is now. Maybe they want to be or they don't want to be. They don't want to be. Yes. At every point in time, there would be a kind of fallout. So you cannot eradicate strike. What we can only do is to reduce. Okay. Let's reduce the amount of time that we go on strike. And once this strike happens, we can actually reduce the duration of the strike action. We don't have to wait until, even if we get to that point of going on strike, if we can't attend to them before they go on a strike action, we don't have to wait until a strike action is 8 months, 7 months, 5 months before we begin to now call all stakeholders to start appealing to ASU. I really do not like hearing that they appeal to ASU to do what? Who is appealing to the federal government? Who is appealing to the Minister of Education? The Minister of Education that walked out on students, the student body that went to visit him, to tell him, to appeal to him, to end the strike. I don't know if you saw that video. He walked out on them. He said, okay, he had listened to what they said, he had heard what they said, and he would deliver the message to the appropriate quarters. And he left. And that was it. That was all he could say. That was the amount of time he could dedicate to the student that came to visit him, to see him, to appeal to him, to end the strike that was ongoing at the time. Do you understand? So it's we are going to be taking loans, yes. I will just hope and wish that dialogue becomes more at the forefront. We dialogue more than we go on strike. If there are issues, and ASU too should uh, try and begin to raise these issues in good time. You understand? They should raise issues in good time, and they should give the government enough time also to discuss, to dialogue, to negotiate. Then compromises should be made. You cannot be at point B and be asking the federal government to meet you at that point. The federal government cannot stay at point A and ask that you meet it there. So we should compromise. Why? Because we are not serving ourselves. At the end of the day, we are not serving ourselves. We are serving the society. We are serving the community. You are serving the people. You are serving the nation. So it's not always about you. You understand? So we just have to try and make compromises, because people will start taking loans now. You don't expect us to take a loan that should last for a year, and ASU strike will make me spend an extra year. So who is going to pay for that? Who is going to sponsor that? Who is going to bear that burden? So I think other things will be done. Honestly, other things will be done to ensure that our education is better off. After the loan, you can't expect people to take a loan that's supposed to last them for 1 year. 200 level, they are supposed to take another loan, and they are now expanding 100 level to 1.5 years, 2 years. So who is going to pay for it? So when we begin to take the loan, I'm sure these are the other things that should be put in place so that this loan will not be rubbished at the end of the day. Because you cannot expect me to pay for an extra year that you cost.
Human rights lawyer Mr. Femi Falana has lamented that plutocracy has replaced democracy in Nigeria, the effect of which is that people have lost confidence in the democratic process. He urged the NPA to put pressure on the Independent National Electoral Commission to address the problems of late arrival of INEC officials and ballot materials at the polling stations, malfunctioning BVAS machines, and limited or non-transmission of the results from polling units to result viewing portals. And now I just properly checked what plutocracy means. It's a government controlled exclusively by the wealthy, either directly or indirectly. It allows either openly or by circumstance. Do you think we're now running under plutocracy, not democracy?
Democracy is still there. At least there was the election in February. We had the election in February and in March. So if we can actually combine the two, if there's a name where the two is combined, I think that's what we are running, because the rich are really controlling the society. So plutocracy is there. I think there's a bit of every kind of crazy in this country. Is it crazy now? Crazy.
Crazy.
Yes, there's a bit of every kind of crazy in this country. There is plutocracy, there is democracy, there is the oligarchy is there too. There is egalitarianism in some societies. There's a lot. There's a lot that we have. So it's the capitalist is there, socialist is in this country. So we have a lot of different kinds of government ongoing. But I think democracy is what we claim to have.
What we claim.
Yes, what we claim to have.
All right. The National Population Commission has said that a new date for the new census, or the census, since one has not been conducted, a new date for the census will be announced by the president, but that they are going to be putting in, or they already have applied for, more financial support. Before they get more financial support, shouldn't they publish what they've done with whatever they've gotten before and how much they have left? Yes, they've done enumeration, but
we said it at the time they insisted on carrying out this census. We asked them if there was something they were planning to get, if there was more to this counting of people. You remember we said it severally on this program that, okay, why not wait for the incoming administration then to decide if he wants to go ahead with this census or not? Why do you think you should have the census now? Was the question we kept asking them at the time. Eventually, what happened? They told us that they didn't have enough money. The 200 billion naira that they had at the time had been expended, but they have failed to tell us what they expended 200 billion naira on. Now that they have gone to meet President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and a new date is going to be set by the president, I'm very certain it's not going to be anytime soon. It's not going to be anytime soon. And yes, we have to know how 200 billion naira was expended, because this is what they are going to be doing. They are going to start robbing this administration now. They are going to start doing all the right things, saying all the right words. You understand? So that no one will look the way of probing the 200 billion naira that we claim to have spent on what exactly? On a census that did not hold. Yes, you must have expended some amount of money. I said that much. But let's know what you spent and what you spent it on, so that we will know how much we are going to add to it. I will want to expect that this administration will not just throw money at this commission again, because that was what we had in the last administration. So it was like dashing it money or dashing them money. So this time we are not just going to dash them money. We are not just going to throw money at this problem. We are going to sit down. We are going to solve it. We are going to discuss it. This census, is it something that we need so soon? And why do we need it? Okay, we need data to plan, which is very important. So we might need this census to come as soon as today. But let us plan it well, and let us know. No planning should be done without or before we know what has been done with 200 billion naira. And whatever fund again that had been released, unknown to us. So let us know what they have done, what they have been able to do, what steps they have taken, what plans they have, before we begin to throw money at them again to do other things. That's my take on this census thing. It's a good thing that they are leaving the president to decide, and I'm sure it might not be anytime soon.
The police force, in a bold move, this is a tweet from Olumoyewa Adejobi, the PRO of the police. In a bold move to address the unprofessional conduct of some police officers attached to the Edo State Police Command who were responsible for running over a citizen at Ekoma, the acting Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbetokun, has taken the decisive action of disbanding the team forthwith. This step aims to regularize and standardize police operations in the axis and restore public trust in the police force. I saw the video that was 2 weeks ago on top, where the man was on the floor. The man who they reportedly ran over was on the floor with his hand on his head. That people were around the place, surrounding the place, and were making alarms and all of that. Thankfully, we have a social media world, or we are in a social media era where if you're dying, people take videos and pictures first before they save you. So maybe that worked in a positive light, and then evidences happened. But every time something happens, every time a police officer or an officer does something, there's always a disbandment, a suspension, and all of that. But only on few occasions have you had proper prosecution.
Well, Tony, we can't rightly say that. I think before they even disband some groups, before they suspend, I think there is what they call, is it called marshalling now? Yes, there is this, they set up panels, they look into it, and whatever punishment the commission deems fit, I think it's always meted out. So we might not be right to say that they don't punish as appropriate. They do, really. At the police commission, they do. But these ones, I honestly do not even know the kind of punishment that, because it always just, it baffles me, the height of of what some people are capable of. So you handcuffed a man, you asked him to lie down, or even lay him down on the floor, and you got into a car. You started the car, and why? What was his offense in the first place? What was his offense? Okay, have you condemned him to death? And now is death by running over?
My corporals.
Is it? I honestly just wonder what gets into some of these police officers because it's not all of them. Really, there are very fine gentlemen police that we have. There are quite a number of them that you meet and you're like, is this a Nigerian policeman? But you meet some of them, you're just like, what exactly got into you? An ordinary person cannot even do that. Not to now talk of you wearing our uniform. Some people will say you are wearing Nigeria. You are representing the country. And you feel, what is that? What did he do? And you now want to, sometimes they just get so power drunk. They just feel they can do and undo. They feel they are so, they are immune against questioning. Because how can you just do that when you, somewhere in your heart, you know that someone is going to ask you for this? But they just think they can't be asked. They can't be called into reckoning. That's what they just feel. They feel they are unquestionable. They are uncontrollable. Some of them. Because I don't know. I don't know what gets into you that you want to run a man over. Do you want to? Okay, were they planning to kill him?
To test his body. Because I'm trying to understand it. It doesn't make sense. I saw it and I think I could not take it 2 weeks ago because I was trying to understand what I was saying. I was trying to understand what I was also reading. I didn't exactly see the full video, but I was trying to grasp what I was saying because you're supposed to be protecting lives and property. Instead, you're harming and endangering lives and property for those who are doing that. Moving on. Chief Bode George has appealed to those jumping ship from the PDP to calm down, saying the party must not go down. In an interview on Wednesday, he urged aggrieved members of the PDP to stay put and resolve the party's problems. This is not the first time people are going to be moving from one party to the other after the conclusion of an election or during the emergence of a new government. So as people are leaving, some people will be going into the PDP, right?
Yes, people, of course, it's a movement. People leave one party to go to another party. So it's what happens every time. Someone is asking what station is this? This is Bet House 102.3 FM, Ibadan, your radio station. Thank you. If you are moving in, you definitely have people moving out. But the intensity will now differ based on what party is in government. You understand? I think people in government have more members because they have people coming in to join them for one reason or the other. People they come. It's a good call by Chief Bode George to ask those members not to leave the party because it's not looking so good for the PDP right now. You understand? A lot of people, it started during the electioneering period. I think the cracks began during the primary, and after the primary, it got widened. Yes, it got widened. After the election, it opened up. So now that they are in the opposition, and they are not just the opposition now, we have the LP there also. I think almost at par with the PDP as the opposition party. So we can't say the PDP is the major opposition right now that they've always been. So we have the LP now contesting that power with them. So it's a good call for them to stay put. And that is one power that Governor Wike claims, that he has remained put. He had stayed put in that party. when others were defecting, when the fortunes of the party was not looking so good and others were defecting, he stayed put in that party. He expended his time, he expended his resources, he expended money, he expended everything on that party, which was what gave him that fillip during that crisis with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Ayu and the other chairman. You understand? So it's one thing that gives politicians power and say when the chiefs are down. You're like, we've been in this party. We know when you joined this party. So if you really want to have that say, you want to have that mouth, then you have to stay within the party. You don't leave the party when there are issues. You have to stay because now the PDP needs some building, some building backs. You understand? So you have to mend the fences. You have to call people, extend loving arms, extend reconciliatory moves. You understand? And just try to call people to build that party. Because if you are going to have any tangible outing come 2027, Tony, it starts from now. It starts from now. You have to keep people, you have to be able to keep people within that party. Key people within that party right now. Because if everyone departs from the party, when do you want to now start bringing people back? You now want to start when people now want to come and start taking posts, start taking positions. No, it doesn't work like that. So it's a good call from Chief Bode George that these people they shouldn't leave the party. They should stay and work it out.
Aside former Governor Wiki, do you think the other G5 governors are going to stay in PDP or they're going to want to defect to the ruling All Progressives Congress?
I don't see any of them defecting. I do not. There's nothing they want to get from this administration that I think they can get. Yes, because they worked for this. Some of them, you get me. Some of them worked for this administration, the emergence of this president. You understand? So they do not have to. They do not have to. And it is also my belief that before you can even contribute to the development of a nation, you don't have to defect from your party. Let's have that cross fertilization of ideas. You don't have to leave your party to contribute to the development of Nigeria. You do not have to leave your party to advise this present administration. And if the president decides to run an all-inclusive government, I'm sure he doesn't have to listen to advices just from his party members alone. Because it's not APC members that are Nigerians. We have Nigerians in all other party members are Nigerians. So if we claim that we want the country to develop, then you don't just listen to your party members. You have to sample the opinions of, maybe not officially, but sometimes you just have to listen to what they are saying. So I really do not see them leaving their party. I don't see them defecting really.
We have an update on that story, the man who was run over by police, from Stephen Badamosi. He says, according to the story, the man laid down before the vehicle himself to prevent them from taking away his vehicle, but they did themselves in by running him over. So apparently he laid down.
Okay, in an attempt to stop them
from taking his vehicle
away. Yes, and they now took it further by riding on him.
The Lagos state government has read the riot act to street traders in the state, especially on the Third Mainland Bridge and Eko Bridge, declaring zero tolerance for street trading in the areas. Now, if anyone is caught hawking or selling by the road, they are going to confiscate their property, and also they will be apprehended and be made to face prosecution at the mobile courts in line with state environmental laws. Now, this street hawking, does it also include those who hawk in traffic?
I think street is street. If the government does not want people on the streets, but honestly, is it really something we can stop? can you stop people from hawking?
That's why I asked if it includes those
Is it
selling
now? Is it street hawking or trade?
hawking and those who sell by the roadside?
Well, I don't know. So you really want to stop people from hawking their wares? How far can you go with that? I think the government should try and modify these things. You can't stop. See, there are some areas that people hawk, and the only way they can sell their wares is to take it round. There are some areas that if you don't take it round, some people don't want to go to the market.
Some of us wait for them.
You wait for them. You are sitting in front of your house. You are waiting for that hawker. You are waiting for that trader to just to ply his trade along your side, so you can just buy. See, I don't see anything wrong in it, really. Honestly, I don't see it. It is street trading that we should focus on. If you want to hawk, just do it safely. Do it safely. Even inside estates, that these things are not permitted. You know, people drop their wares at the gate of estates. They will go inside the estate and they will be telling people. I don't know if you've seen them before. They will drop their wares at the gate with the security men. Then they will stroll inside and they will be calling. Yes. And they will be calling the attention of people. They will be telling them, we are elewedu yin bo ti wa around o, mama eleja, I'm making, and you start calling them. Okay, give me this, give me that, and they will go back to the gate and they will bring it. Some people don't want to go out. Some people don't want to go to the market. So I think it's good if people can take it to them. It can be modified, yes, but the street trading is what we should focus on. Those market women that will leave their stores, the stores that they have paid, yes, the organized stores that they would leave, and they will now they even extend their stores. They extend it and they leave the stores, they leave their stores now as stores. The stores have become stores, warehouse for them. So they now bring their wares outside for people. I think that is what the government should focus on. Let's see how we can get those ones back into the shops. Let's see how we can get the market organized. Let's see how, when you are going to a market, you have an idea of where you will see vegetables. You have an idea of where you will get peppers. You have an idea of where you will get staple foods. You have an idea of where you will get provisions. You have an idea of where you get groceries. You understand? You have an idea of all these things. That, okay, these stores, these shops are for this. Know that everything is in your face. If you stand in one particular point inside Bodija Market, Tony, you just be turning 360. You will buy everything on your list. Just turn from here. You give this one money, they give you. Give this one money, they give you. Yeah, where you are buying everything. It's not organized. We can have it better organized. So I think that's what we should honestly look at. No, the hawking, I honestly don't have any problem with it.
Well, they said part of the exercise is also to curb those who parade themselves as street hawkers but are criminals who attack unsuspecting motorists, and also those who are fond of launching violent attacks on enforcement officers on duty. So I think there's more to just the street hawking. I think, on this Third Milan Bridge and the what's the other bridge? I know there's always heavy traffic, and a lot of people go there to sell their wares. I mean, traffic sales is one thing that a lot of travelers enjoy. Maybe not a lot, but some or most travelers enjoy. So I think maybe they also want to be able to regulate that in such a way that
I said if they are looking at it, they probably want to modify it. It is good if there's a way to go about it. There are criminals everywhere. Honestly, even inside the markets, inside the shops, there are criminals. If the government can establish that, I think the traffic hawking. Honestly, Tony, that's another thing entirely. It is another issue. And I don't see how, except the government is very decisive about it, I don't see how we can eradicate it.
Because even travelers like it.
Yes, some people see if you want to, there is really nothing there. I don't buy things in traffic. I don't like buying things in traffic because you buy fakes a lot. In traffic, yes. You can buy they sell stuff in traffic. Some people buy radio in traffic. Some people they tell you they buy wristwatches in traffic. You buy fake things. And even edible things. You buy sport things. Yes, in traffic. So it's dangerous. You are not buying something anybody is going to account for. I don't even advise it. I don't. If you are buying, you probably buy at bus stops. At the stops are better. You can always go back there and call the person or ask the person. They are almost always there. You understand? But you are in traffic, this guy is running, you don't know where he or she is running from. And all these drinks that they sell, I always feel they have opened them. That's me. I always feel they have probably opened them and poured water in some of it. I don't know. Because if they had done that, they sell it for you in traffic, you pay them, they go. It's when you open it, you know that, this thing is not sound, it's not doing shit. It's not doing shit, or has it expired? You don't know if they have opened, you just check.
When you drink
and now,
yes,
and the gas. And when you even discover it, that this thing is not good, would you report?
You throw it out.
You just throw it away. So you are more endangered if you. I don't like buying in traffic. That's just me. I don't anything, edibles especially. I don't. If I'm going to, if I'm if I when I was still always traveling, whatever I want to buy, I don't like eating if I want to travel. That's me. I do not. So you can't see me buying stuff. Some people can buy. Oh goodness. I remember when I was 7, I came back from Ilorin. I was going back. From Ibadan here. So you will take Ilorin from Ibadan. I was coming from Abeokuta. So from Ibadan here, that lady sat beside me. Me that I can't even. When I want to travel, I have a bottle with me. I'll just one bottle of something that I won't mention. I'll just take that and probably sausage, not the sausage, but the sausage I'm talking about, the general one. So I'll just have just one of that and one of that can hold me. But this lady, and it was Agbado time. Tony, this lady beside me, she bought eggs. She bought Agbado. She bought moi moi. She bought bread. Moi. Yes. She bought bread. She bought yogurt.
How did her stomach go?
Oh goodness, Tony! Before we got halfway, she was dead. She was so fast asleep. And the most annoying thing was she now felt she could rest her head on my shoulder. I don't know.
The hair?
But of course she would do. If you smell, who would you point at? You understand? So I don't know how she felt she could just place her head on my shoulder when you were eating like it was going out of fashion. What were you thinking? I just nudged her away like this. I was so angry. How can you be so? I just see it as that's me. I see it as irresponsibility. How can you be eating like that when you are traveling? Caution. So I think those traffic hawkers, let us regulate them. If we can't stop them, we can regulate them. But not those mamas that are hawking around. Some of them can't afford stores. And some of them even have stores, but they don't sell. People don't go to them. So they take it to the people. It's what we have modernized now we deliver. These mamas, they can't deliver. They will have to hawk. So that's what they are doing. They too, they are also delivering. But we are not ordering it online. We see them, you call them, you buy, and you pay. And they go back to their shops or they go back home. They have sold for the day. I'm not talking about those crooks that will tamper with whatever it is they want to sell for you in the traffic.
All right. The federal government on Thursday in Abuja warned Nigerians against indiscriminate dumping of refuse to avoid degrading the environment. According to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Alhaji Ibrahim Yusuf, dumping refuse openly will affect the ecosystem and result in avoidable disaster. As such, Nigerians should embrace sanitation habits, including sustainable waste management. And now this story takes me back to the news yesterday that the Lagos state government would soon start to seal homes without waste bins. And I asked my store, and he said maybe it was just to urge them to want to have proper waste management. But what do you have to say about
Yes,
proper waste?
proper waste should be, it should be proper disposition or disposal. I think it's disposal. Proper disposal. Why do you always laugh like that? Proper disposal of waste should be encouraged, really. It's expensive, honestly, Tony. It's expensive. You have a household paying like 16,000 or even 32,000 in a year just for their drums to be taken. You understand? But I think it's worth it at the end of the day. Keeps our environment clean. It keeps us clean. Keeps our communities clean. And it keeps us away. Or it keeps sicknesses and diseases away from us. Because if we just leave it for the people to handle, they will not handle it well. If you just leave households to be burning their wastes, to be disposing it at their own convenience, honestly, Tony, we are not going to have a headway. So I think the government should take it up. But the government also will just have to have a way to go about it in such a way that it will not be too much of a burden on the people. Honestly, because we can actually burn these things by ourselves. Every household can decide to have
Incinerators at the back of their
incinerators. Who is talking about you? We are going to even be buying incinerators. You just have a heap. You have a heap at the back of your building there. Yes, it could even be inside your compound. Just have a heap there. Once you know that that's what you do with it, just throw it there. When it's time, probably in okay, once in a month is not so good to be smelling. Maybe weekly.
2 weeks.
Maybe weekly. The children will just go there on Saturdays or Sundays. You and children. It's going to be fun. You go see us burning papers in my house. My children are always happy. They like to burn stuff. They just go down and be burning. They're pushing it inside the fire. We used to love it when we were young. Burning stuff. It was a project. You will stay there, you will be pushing. Yes, you'll be pushing it. Your parents will be warning you, don't put bottles. The bottles will do, and we will now put the bottles. Then you hear the explosion, boom. As if we go see, it's fun. We won't do it. But if you are not going to ask us not to do it, then don't burden us. Don't burden us with too much money on disposing our wastes. So that is where the government should look into. We want to dispose it, yes. Right disposal, yes, but not so expensive. It's really why do you have to be paying 32,000 a year to dispose what?
32,000
a year. So I think we have to look into it. We really, really have to look into it. And government now works with private waste management companies. So and when that begins to happen, there'll be a lot of money is going somewhere that you can't really account for. So, and who's going to be at the brunt? It's us.
Resident doctors have asked for an upward review to the tune of 550% of their salaries because the members of the Resident Doctors Association find it difficult to transport themselves to work and carry out other responsibilities required of them as medical doctors because of the removal of the fuel subsidy and all of that. And therefore, the doctors are planning to embark on a 5-day warning strike. No, they did before, And now they are saying that they would go on another strike if the federal government does not answer to them. While we didn't like that public elected officials were going to get a 140% increase in their salary. What do you think about these doctors demanding a 550% increase on their salaries?
It's their right to demand whatever they think fits them or they deserve. Tony, you can't stop anybody from making demands. But like I said earlier, demands can be made, negotiations should be done, compromises should be made. See, you can't just be rigid with your demands. We are all in the country together. We know what our economy is like. You as a doctor, resident doctor or not resident doctor, you know what the economy is about. You should be able to know what the government can afford per time, because reviews are made over the years. You understand? So if you are asking for 550% increase, is your right. You can ask for it honestly. But what I will advocate is dialogue, negotiations. I'm sure they aimed for the moon so they can land among the stars. You understand? So they are asking for 550. So after negotiations, after all said and done, probably they were going to be getting 400. You understand? I'm sure they are not going to be rigid about it. So it's their right. They want to go on strike. I am not one to be asking people not to go on strike. I don't like it. So if you want to go on strike, if you feel that is what you can do to get, because this our federal government is, they are very, very, I don't want to use the word stubborn. They can pretend not to see you or not to hear you. They are the ones that they talk about, they're turning deaf ear. They know how to do it very well. So if you really want to get the attention, do what you can to get the attention of the federal government or even the state government. So when it is strike action that will call them home, do it. Go on that strike. Indefinite strike action. Please do.
Indefinite.
Yes.
Former Ekiti State Governor Ayo Dele Fayoshi on Thursday met with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the presidential villa, saying afterwards that he will be the first to criticize the president if he goes backward on campaign promises. Speaking with correspondents after the meeting, he noted that President Tinubu had done well so far since coming into the office and should be encouraged. He said since the elections are over, it is time to govern. Nigeria needs to rally around the president, who he said is alert and has a clear direction he wants to take the country. Criticism, yes, it's normal to have criticism. Criticism are good. Criticism are good. It helps you to check your direction and how well you're doing. But when Dr. Adele Fayoshi was governor of the Ekiti State, how well did criticism or critiquing how he was running his government, how well did it help him to do better as a governor?
Well, it's they all claim that they want criticisms. They will tell you they want developmental criticisms, constructive criticisms. It's funny. We have ways with words when it suits us. You understand? But you asked how well it helped him. Well, you cannot say that it didn't help, because I'm sure he must have taken to some criticisms and he must have adjusted some plans at some point in his administration. You understand? He's 8 years in office. I'm sure he must have. You cannot see. There's no way you can just continue to do your own things your own way, 100%. At some point, you want to really relax yourself and just say, okay, what's this person saying? What can I do? Let's just consider this. Maybe even for peace to reign, or maybe just for considering sake. Let's just consider it. You understand? So you can't say, I'm sure he must have taken to some criticisms during his reign also. So this one, I think I want to believe you. Honestly, I believe former governor Ayodele Fayose, if he says he's going to give it to Shivaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, if he fails in all his promises, he is someone that I believe he likes to say it. I want to say him as someone that says it the way he sees it. He appears very blunt. I can't say very because that would be like 100%. Yes,
quite blunt.
It's quite blunt. He mostly doesn't care whose ox is God. He mostly. But these politicians, all of them, they like playing to the gallery a lot. Most times they are all playing to the gallery. But honestly, if he says that, I believe it.
All right, a suspect who stole a Benz from Abuja and was apprehended in Delta State. Um, okay, the DSP Bright Edafe, spokesman of the Delta State Police Command, made it known on Twitter on Thursday that the suspect, Meshach Sinufuro, who allegedly stole the Benz at Abuja while pretending to be a buyer, has been arrested by the Command Decoy Squad in Benin City. What was he thinking? You didn't even take a vehicle of, say, a millionaire. It's not good to steal. But I'm just saying. 55 million naira, you pretended to be a buyer.
Is it even the amount now or the act itself? The stupidity of the act.
Because you went there to say you wanted to buy, and then, bro, you drove off. I wonder what he was thinking.
He thought he could go away with it. I'm sure he probably must have been getting away with things like that, probably with smaller items. You understand? I had seen a video before abroad now. I don't know if it was America or London. I don't know. But the guy went into this shoe store. He tried his sneakers on.
And then he ran.
Have you seen it? Have you seen the video?
It was a trend at the point.
I honestly, I don't know what he was thinking. He just wore the shoe, wore the sneakers, and just said, and the next thing he just bolted. And unfortunately for him, the door was locked. And the store keepers were just looking at him like,
what were you thinking?
What was he trying to do? I'm sure they didn't expect that he would even make such attempt. I'm very sure they he felt so bad and he just had to calm himself and he was like, okay, and went back to sit. So he now pretended like he tried it on. Why would you try a shoe running towards the door? You understand? I think this guy, he probably had tried that, probably abroad or here with smaller items, which was what gave him that confidence, that belief that he could actually drive off a car, 55 million naira worth of Mercedes. So you could just, people are desperate, honestly. It's nothing but desperation and stupidity. Now that I'm so glad that it was caught. He stole it in Asaba.
In Abuja.
In Abuja and drove it to Asaba.
Is it that he bought fuel?
I know he must have packed to buy fuel. If the fuel was not enough, he would pack to buy fuel. Please, where was he going?
Who knows?
Was he planning to drive out of?
Honestly,
he will now go and resell it, and the person that buys it will now be in trouble.
In a recent development, social media giant Twitter has reportedly threatened legal action against Meta, the parent company of the other Facebook and the other platforms that we use, because over its release of its Thread app. The Thread app, launched by Meta on Thursday as part of its suite of social networking applications, allows users to engage in threaded conversations and discussions. Now, the conflict arose as Twitter claims that the Thread app infringes upon its intellectual property rights and violates certain terms of use. Now, according to Twitter, some of its sacked workers that still has some data belonging to it were recruited by Meta, and then they helped in creating the Thread app, and that's why he's suing the owner of Meta for creating the Thread app. Now, you sacked people. When you were sacking them, you didn't take away your property from them. Even if you take it, I believe that intelligence is something that is going to be with you for a while, and you get to put it to use, right?
Mm.
So I think this is just war between billionaires.
Yes, it's expected really. When you sack people from a company, they look for a rival company. You can't say that except they signed something called non-disclosure, non-compete, non-disclosure. If they didn't sign that with you, you can't stop them from working with a rival company because that's their tough. That is their specialty. If I live here now, you are not you are not to be surprised if you hear me on another radio station or on a television station because this is my line. You understand? So you can't say except I have signed with you that if I live with you for a duration of so amount of years, I will not work, and it's not going to be eternal. You understand? Even in that signature of non-compete, non-disclosure, it's not going to be an everlasting thing. You can't stop me from working forever. So it's just going to be for a duration of time. Probably 1 year after you leave my office, 2 years after you leave, you can't work with a rival company. You understand? But if that wasn't signed, I don't see why. I don't see the problem. They should expect it.
And you know, Twips, who used to be on Twitter, were so excited about going to Thread. Now they call themselves tailors. Even the president actually signed in and said, "My fellow tailors, Idon has landed." And there's this excitement because Twitter has been kind of funny recently. You have to pay to have the blue tick, and then there are certain amount of tweets you can have if you are verified and all of that. So I think the fact that a lot of people left, or they didn't exactly leave but are so happy about the new app, I think it has to do with the owner of Twitter, not just someone else creating a sister application.
Yeah, what is the Ido has landed?
Ido has landed.
What is the Ido has landed?
He has landed on the tailoring app.
It's just it's a professional war they are fighting. Not really about billionaires or anything. It's a professional war they are fighting, and it's expected really. So, because I think since yesterday, I think it was launched yesterday.
Yes, and they already have 30 million. Over
Yes.
30 million.
Last I saw, the story on it was like hours after it was launched, it gathered 10 million. You saw that story too, so now it's over 30 million. That's
Italy's former Prime Minister Berlusconi reportedly leaves 100 million euros for his girlfriend in his will. Silvio Berlusconi, okay, the billionaire who was one of Italy's richest men when he died aged 86 also settled a dispute over which of his 5 children will take control of his business empire. Now, while we are having people divorcing and having to settle with money, lose money, and all of that. For someone he dated, he left for her 100 million euros in his will.
yes.
What do you say of it?
It's a good thing. Do you know how important she was to him at the point? At the time they dated, do you know what she did in his life? You don't just throw about 1 million.
100 million
Hey, you don't just throw about 100 million
euros. The one that has surname.
Which was the sign? 100 million euros. You don't just throw it at someone that's not important to you. Honestly. And I don't know, does he have a wife?
No. But I know he has five children.
He has 5 children, and you don't know the roles this woman must have played in his life. So it's I don't have any problem with it. That's congratulations to her. I'm
Very,
happy,
very
good. I'm happy
another
for her.
win.
Yes, another win for the Celtics.
To entertainment, I remembered you mentioned the video earlier this week. just when we think the drama was dying down, someone else, a Ghanaian, said her 1 year old is a daughter to the musician and that he neglected them. She actually posted a video of the child, and I was for for social media DNA watchers, the child looks like
social media doctors.
yes, we social media doctors. She looks a lot like him. It's so much. She looks like Haley and Imade. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then so this this stories. If at the end of the day we just find out that they are just kids who look like him. I mean, John Legend, if I'm sure, his first child looked like Ed Sheeran initially before
it changed.
So now, if Ed Sheeran had said, "Oh, this child is mine," he looks like me. Now, if Davido now comes and says, proves with proofs and says these guys are not mine, and then sues them, will they say that this is rich oppressing poor?
No, it's not there. What are these girls even poor? They are not poor. Okay, are you saying that American Anita does she look poor too?
Maybe she has gone broke. You don't know. Trust me, it's not all you see on social
Maybe,
media.
but it's not going to be if eventually it turns out that these people are just lying. But Tony, you cannot lie against a man you didn't sleep with that he has fathered a child with you.
You remember someone stole the sperm of
That
someone
see
from...
that yes, but there was contact. She stole the sperm, and it was established that she won the case. She won the case because it was still the guy's child. So she still won parental support from the guy. No one is going to ask him to marry you, but the child is his own. DNA test showed that much. So if the video comes out tomorrow, after conducting necessary tests on these children, he realizes that they are not his children, then he can take any action he deems fit against these people because they have defamed him. They have assassinated his character, and they have caused his family this trauma. You understand? But if the kids are his own, I reserve my point.
Well, he has told us that he's unavailable and that he's sorry for those who put his matter on their head. So
He's the one that said he's unavailable, and he's the same person that said then go feel it. And he even said on the Yoruba word he used there. So then go. They are feeling it.
moving on, American actress Keke Palmer and her baby daddy caused or had this controversy yesterday. She went on a show and she was wearing something that he deemed not proper for a mom, and he put it on his wall. He says, "It's the outfit, though. You're a mom." We live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother of his kids to showcase her body to please others, and he gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. Now, shouldn't the message about yes, the message about her clothes and how she was dressed was not exactly wrong, but I think he should have told her. Like, he has her number. Hello, the clothes you are wearing is not good. Come back inside and change. But like, did he? I don't know. I don't really get people putting messages for their close relatives or friends on their walls instead of telling them directly.
We live in that world right now, honestly. Even though I'm not going to totally agree or go with the notion that he wouldn't have tried that one-on-one conversation with Kiki at some point. Maybe that had failed. Maybe this is him resigning because the way that means his authority had been questioned more than one time. You understand, in that relationship. That means he has been undermined. So he doesn't really have a say in what she wears. Because she's not his wife. His baby mama. Her baby daddy. They are not married. So he doesn't have that control. I think that is why women don't want to get married. Because I do not understand that kind of relationship that you just want to keep it open. You are just there. And they are not even calling themselves wives and husbands. I don't know what they call themselves. They call themselves partners. My other half, my partner. You understand? So it's a business for them now. They don't want to go into that contract of marriage. Why? Because of freedom like this. She wants to be free to. She doesn't want the man breathing down her neck, telling her what you're wearing is bad. She doesn't want it. Because if they were married, I'm sure this would not have happened. He would feel he had that power to tell her to change whatever it was she was wearing. But because they are not married, I'm sure she must have rubbed that in his face a couple of times, if not more. That, Oga, uncle, please, I'm still my own woman. I'm still myself. I'm not married to you. Whatever business that connects us, let us handle them. When it comes to your child or your children, we can talk about them together, but you don't get to, let me do that, you don't get to tell me. You get, as Gen Z, I know you laugh. You don't get to tell me. That's what we do. So I think that's why.
Now, Professor Uju Anya actually reacted to it, writing, calling him names and saying that it's absurd to appeal to patriarchal moral and values to dominate a woman while not fulfilling any patriarchal duties yourself. Men made the rules that tie their worth to money. Why are you all getting mad when I say that? According to these same rules, a broke man can't talk. Apparently, according to Professor Anya, Kiki is the one sponsoring the guy, so he has no say, regardless of whatever.
I don't care who is sponsoring who, honestly. I do not care. The money does not make a man. Money does not make a husband. The gender makes a husband. If he's your husband, he's your husband. Either rich or broke, poor or sick. So that's Professor Aya's opinion. And honestly, it might not even be true. I would want to go with the notion that it's because they don't want to be answerable to each other. And it's not just the woman. The man too wants to be free. He wants to be free from the burdens of marriage, from the responsibilities of that contract. They don't want it. They don't want the excess baggage that comes with marriage. They don't want it. They want to be free. Yes, the entanglement, it's a free relation, it's an open relationship. That's what they call it. So I think they both like it. Anyone in that kind of relationship likes it that way.
A man who was filmed carving names into a wall at Rome's ancient Colosseum amphitheater has apologized for his actions. UK-based Ivan Dimitrov made the apology in a letter to Rome's mayor, saying he understood the seriousness of the deed. He urged Ivan plus Haley on the 2,000-year-old amphitheater with a key in June. In the letter, Dimitrov offered his heartfelt and honest apologies and praised those who guard the inestimable historical and artistic value of the Colosseum and dedicated with dedication, care, and sacrifice. I saw the video last week. He went to the amphitheater and was carving something. This I was here, so was here.
Yes.
That was what he was doing, and apparently
that thing should happen.
Signing your name.
Should happen.
So initially, there were calls for his arrest.
Why?
It's a 2,000-year-old wall, and he went to write on it. Something
that means there is a law against that.
I guess so.
There, so maybe the tour guide didn't tell him. No, probably he wasn't informed, and he should have just asked. Honestly, he should have asked, because it's what anybody would just want to do. It's what we do. these days. It's what we do. So I think
Today marks the 25th anniversary of the death of MKO Abiola. But before we properly discuss on that, let me just take this one on a lighter note. A mathematics teacher reportedly got stung by a bee while preparing the students for an examination. There was mild drama in Sala East Municipal of the Upper West region of Ghana when bees paid an August visit to a school. According to reports, the maths and science teacher identified as Eric Tunti was instructing the final year students in class when one of the bees stung his upper lip. As a result of the sting, the teacher was left with a swollen lip. It is reported that he continued teaching his students who were preparing for their mock examinations. See his face.
ooh.
And he continued teaching. Math teachers, for those who are math teachers at home, know this. For somebody who don't like math, I believe math teachers are very stubborn. They can cross through seven seas if there's disaster to go and teach their students.
They don't miss periods
At all.
Math teachers do not
And
miss
they
their
jump
periods.
at 3 periods.
Exactly.
Because how was he still able to teach with this?
You know, you just see him or her peeping, especially him. You are free. Let me take you a topic. You are like, oh my goodness. Who told you we even want your own period, not to not talk of an extra period I want to spend with us? I think that's why most of us don't do mathematics. Honestly.
I want to believe that's why I don't know math. Because when rain is falling, you are rejoicing that no
Goodness,
math.
you
and
just
then you
see-
will see that person.
You will see him
And
wearing
he
the
will
coat.
be smiling.
Then he will come like,
Hello.
I'm sure they are happy to see me.
Who is happy?
And everybody's like, ah. They will teach you for the next 2 hours. They are still there.
And then they say, oh, our time is not enough.
And that's commitment on his part, this man's part. That's commitment. I just hope that the students will not be distracted with the size of his lip and because whatever it was trying to impart in them will be lost on them. If it's a huge distraction really. I'm sure some of them will still gain one or two things, but the unserious ones
Like me.
will just be looking at the lip.
Alright. So
Yeah, there's this sorry you raised
Alright.
during the first leg. This student that was strangled by
a
mad
madman.
person. I listened during the first leg. I also heard your analysis. You were heavy on the fact that the students and the teachers that were around when this madman went to strangle the boy should have helped.
Yeah, they ran away.
But you forgot the important part of this boy looking for trouble. See, Tony, let me tell you something. Till today, if I leave this studio now, if I'm walking down that street, if I sight a madman,
I cross.
if there is no way for me to cross, Tony,
Go back.
I will run back here. There was a day I was strolling down to that Zenith Junction, and I was on this side of the road. I'm always very, very at alert. Anytime I'm not driving, I'm just strolling. Because I know that mad people is their route. So I sighted this guy. I was opposite that I was almost at that eatery there before the Zenith. You understand? I was almost. So I had sighted him down before. So I was calculating my crossing, and the cars were much. They weren't stopping. There was no gap for me to cross, Tony. And I was now between, okay, could I pass by this person? Could we pass by each other without drama? Or could I just cross? But Tony, I was like, okay, if I could pass and he won't try anything, I could just go. But Tony, at the nick of time, this guy attempted to probably slap me or you know what I did? I didn't look at the road. I did not look at the cars coming. How I crossed, I don't know. I just found that I was on the other side of that road because I was already prepared that if this guy tries any nonsense, I will fly. So how can you, as a child, was the age there? Okay, was
17.
writing 17. You know, it's exuberance. That's what I would just put it down at. How you saw a madman, or probably he was a very friendly madman. Maybe they were used to him. Do you understand?
Oh God.
Maybe he was a friendly madman that they were used to in the area. So you now took it upon yourself to ask a madman that was waiting for the rain to subside, just like you were doing. Why didn't you just walk away from where he was? Or why did you not go? If you thought he was in a wrong place or he was constituting a nuisance or danger, why didn't you go and tell your teachers to come and send him away? And why did you even want to send him away if he wasn't doing anything? He was waiting for the rain just like you were waiting for the rain. Do you understand me? Now you now did something so outstanding enough for this madman to recognize your face.
And it keeps raining.
Tony, you see, I don't know if you are seeing it the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah, just now, because you reminded
We
me
should
of the madman when I was
teach
in school.
our children to run away from trouble. We should teach ourselves to run away from trouble. You cannot meet a madman coming. Whatever the madman does to you, who is going to take him into account? Who? They will get to court now, they will tell you that he has mental illness. If he kills you, just like he did now, who are you going to run the case with? For crying out loud.
You see Brother Saida say you're hiding from me. Let Father read.
That is it. So you were so bold enough that you attacked this mad person. You called him a madman and he was able to recognize, he took notice of your face. And he left where he was after you had gone inside. He didn't follow him immediately. He waited for him to settle down in that class. And this man now went. I think he just came to him that he called him a madman. And he believes he's not mad. So he now showed him that he wasn't mad by recognizing his face, by fishing him out of the crowd in that classroom, and by strangling him. You are now saying that the teachers should wait. Would you wait? Would you wait?
Well, I was thinking if all of them had gone to
All of
Fatima.
who? So if my child were there, he would come home and tell me that, we helped him, mommy. we stayed back like this. I dragged the madman's leg, and I will not sit him down and beat tomorrow out of his head. Would you wait?
If it's a kind of madman like Brother Said, I won't wait.
I don't know, but I said.
No, Brother Said was scary. My 4 years in school, when I see him, because he spits at moving vehicles and he stones. So when I see him, I always cross or run back to where
That
I'm
is
coming
one
from.
you are now going to begin to tell to leave where he was taking shelter.
I will enter the rain. Why am I taking shelter when Brother Said is here?
I think we should begin to talk to our children more. We should begin to teach our children what to do and what not to do, what to walk away from.
Quickly, before we open the phone lines, let's just quickly say one or two things. Or can you say one or two
Oh
things
yes,
about?
yes, the 25th anniversary of MK Wabiola's death. Yes, okay, if my show was there, and I would ask me how old I was. So yes, of course I knew about it. I was aware. Because I was also aware in 1993. I saw the election. Though I wasn't 18 yet, I couldn't vote. But I saw the election. I was very aware of that election. I listened to my parents. I listened to my mom especially. She was passionate about that
Trust
election.
African
She was,
mothers.
yes, all the analysis, and when the strike actions, all the protests were coming after one another. Today they will have NLC protesting. Tomorrow they will have all the tailors. Tomorrow it will be the hairdressers. Yes, that was how of course, well, in Abeokuta that I was, that was how we had it. The Butchers Association are going out today. The tailors are going tomorrow. The hairdressers, so it was fun for us because we didn't want to go to school. Yes, we wanted to just stay at home. So if you are dressed for school like this and you just hear they have, you just get back. Pam pam. Film is happening again today, so you just remove your uniform and you'll be hiding, you'll be peeping through the windows as policemen will be throwing tear gas at protesters. It was so I knew about it. So when Mko Abiola died, that was the year after Abacha died. Yes. I think Abacha died June 8th, 1997. Yes, June 8th, 1997. And people said, thank God that Abacha died before Abiola. Because if it was Abiola that died before Abacha, then it should have been hell. But I think God has a way of planning our case in Nigeria. Honestly, He has a way of, there's that providence for us. There's that hand and the eyes watching us in this country. And God knows how to just do things for us that, this election, a lot of people thought there would be war. People thought there would be, I always tell people, I said, see, this God that is up there, He knows how to handle Nigeria's matter. He will do it for us such that we, the helpless, will not enter into trouble. He will find a way around it for us. And He has always done it, and He will always do it. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Yes. So this one, I knew about it. I heard it was very sad. It was sad, but again, I think people. I can't say it wasn't expected because he had been incarcerated. He had been there since that 1993. He's been there, and we thought Abdul Salami was going to release him. He didn't release him, and he was just there. So when he died, when the news broke that he died, we were not agitated. I'm saying we because my corner, my space was not agitated. We're dampened. It's like something that's long coming. Are they going to release him? Are they going to give him the presidency? Are they just going to release him and let him go? Is he going to go into exile? Then you just wake up one morning and you're like, or evening. I can't even remember the time. I think it was during the day. You just hear the news flying. But of course, some people ran back home. People were prepared for whatever was going to come. We didn't know what was going to come. At the uncertainty, so people just ran back. People closed from work very early. The following day, most people didn't go to work because we didn't know what to expect from, especially the touts and the people on the streets. You understand? But eventually, it went 25 years, and we have the man that was constantly in the forefront of this struggle, this 1993 struggle. We have him now as president of the country. It's a very remarkable one. It is 25 years. It is. I'm sure if the dead, if they look back, he's probably going to turn in his grave, and he's probably going to nod and say, okay, I think something has happened. He's probably going to do that.
Before we open the phone lines, let me quickly take the few comments we have on the Telegram platform. Stephen Badamosi says, ẹni tí wèrè pa ìyá ẹ̀ tí ó bá rí àwọn oníṣẹ́ oko kan nínú aṣọ iṣẹ́ wọn yóò sá o. Just this morning, I saw a boy supposedly high on colos. He was misbehaving and wanted to hit his own head on the concrete wall. Those who knew him tried to help, make him sit and stabilize him. He turned on them and started beating them. Let's be guided. And Kolako Rashid says, Davido knew what was coming his way before that album. And also, the baby mama is norms in that climb, and it's gaining popularity here in our country too. Ademola Ogunlade says, "Good morning, the two sisters. You're doing marvelous work in the studio. Bless you. Bless you too." And Maestro put a message on the 25th anniversary of MQ Abiola's death, 7th July 1998. We recall some fallen and living heroes and the moment. Hope 93 confronts renewed hope 23. Watch out here. So there's a video from Maestro. You can check the Telegram platform for it. Stephen Welamosi, okay, I read this already. With the little time we have, we can still take one or two calls. The numbers to call 081. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. All right, the studio lines again 09153029992 or 08107812544. I think the network is still quite pitchy, but we can still keep trying. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Hello.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Okay. Good morning. I'm calling from the LLA.
Go ahead.
I just want to make a small correction, but this is good. It was the same year. It was the same that 1988. That of Abacha was on June 8, 1988, and that of NTO was on July 7, 1988.
Okay, same here. 1 month interval. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
09153029992 or 08107812544. We can still take a call or two more. 08107812544 or 09153029992. I think our time is well spent. The network is not being friendly this morning. Many thanks to everyone who has been a part of the show so far. Thank you, the most beautiful Adebisi Ogunjimi, the most adoring. Thank you for always joining me on the show.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here. We'll be back here next week by God's grace. Thank you for listening and watching.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
The network is funny this morning.
Yes. So we need to go. Please join us next week for another edition. My name is Tony Adeoye. Have a wonderful weekend, and thank you to our studio manager.
All right, thank you. Bye. Well, thank you so much all for watching. Mr. Daoud Afunbi, thank you. Mr. Alumuiwa, Mr. Jumal Alabi. I have Mr. Adebisi here also. Oluwayemisi, Oluwadarasimi, Yajuda, thank you. Shegun Mshule, thank you. Oyeni Rolakunle, Mr. Tgif, Ogunwale, Bami, thank you for watching. I have Demola Akinbola, Olusheyayo, my learned friend, thank you. Mr. Babatunde Tijani, Dayo Olajide, oh, thank you, Mr. Dayo. Thank you for watching. Bye.